Hello everyone and welcome back to the RMTV Women's Podcast. This is episode 121 and
God.
each week that Lauren says the number, I always act shocked. I'm going to have to put a montage together of me going, ooh, because that's what it is every single week because I can't process the fact that it's 121. It's just absolutely bizarre.
I can't get over that. That's mad.
I remember number one. It was terrible.
So do I. I remember your number one.
I remember awful.
You guys came to me with the idea of you even doing a podcast.
It's horrible. Don't even want to think about that number one. It was disgusting. Anyways, today Lauren is unfortunately not feeling 100%. So we have again Mrs. Super Sub, Emma Sanders, who wants me to point out that she has a, what's the word you used? Gammy eye. What actually has happened is she got involved in a punch up.
Yeah, I got punched in the face. No, I didn't actually. I'd love to say I got punched in the face. I'd love to even say that I walked into a door or something like that, but literally nothing happened whatsoever. I just woke up with a purple eye, and it's just starting to water now as well.
Oh no!
Obviously, I've put makeup on, which is not good. So let's just ignore that now.
Well, we had to point out the elephant in the room.
Exactly. Now you've all seen the disgusting eye.
Yeah, you don't want us just going, what's wrong with Emma's eye?
I won't be showing the mugshot though that I've sent you.
No, I don't think. I think that needs a parental guidance on it.
Yeah. Well, the one yesterday was even worse. Yeah, the one yesterday was even worse. I had to cut out the rest of my face when I sent it to my mate because I was.
I don't want to see that one. I'm happy with the one I've already got. That's cool for me. Okay, let's move on, shall we? Obviously today, the Lionesses had their first game. I think it was in just under a year. They said the number of days, but I can't remember.
The last game was March 2020 when they lost to Spain 1-0 at Chivalry's Cup, which was also my, I think, oh no, it wasn't my last competitive game. Forget that. But anyway.
Okay.
Because last time I was abroad.
Okay, no, I cannot tell you the last time I was abroad. I genuinely can't remember the thought. What is an aeroplane at this point?
Oh, no.
Anyways, obviously first game back after a year. I mean, I think many England fans will be happy with the result. Obviously 6 goals against Northern Ireland. Pretty much a dominant performance from what I saw of it anyways. I was dipping in and out. But Ellen White with a hat-trick, a couple of other goal scorers, Lucy Bronze, Rachel Daly, Ella Toone. How would you sort of sum up the game as a whole for maybe those who weren't watching? It was a weird time, 12:30 kickoff. I wasn't really too much of a fan of that.
I loved it because it meant that I'm actually going to log off before midnight tonight.
Bad for you.
No, yeah, you're right. It was a really good performance actually. I've just written a piece which is probably going to go out tomorrow morning, but and so I was looking back through the quotes from Hegarisa afterwards in her post-match interview, and she was talking about the tactics and kind of how she wanted England to find the spaces and be more creative on the ball. And she's spoken before about wanting to sort of really bring out the kind of attacking play that England have got, because we've got so many attacking players, haven't we? You know, the likes of Lauren Hemp, Chloe Kelly, obviously Ellen White. So I think the team were able to do that, and she was obviously really complimentary of the performance because Northern Ireland were they did play quite a low block in the first half in particular, and I think England did really well finding those spaces and kind of breaking the play up and getting through the block and switching the play really quickly. So it was really good, especially down the right hand side with Rachel Daly and Lucy Bronze in the first half, and obviously Chloe came on later on in the second half. They were just getting into so much space, and then I think Lauren Hemp grew into the game as well as it wore on, and Georgia Stanway was playing in a more advanced role. So all around it, I just think it was a really good performance from England. It's difficult, isn't it? Because Northern Ireland obviously are they do have a lot of players that are semi-pro, and I think it's 43 places they're lower down in the world rankings. So
you would expect England to sort of win that game.
Yeah, I mean England were completely dominant as expected, like you say, and I think it's hard to judge them against a team like Northern Ireland. That's no disrespect to Northern Ireland. It's just they are at different levels. Obviously England's one of the best teams in the world. So, but yeah, just you can only beat the team that's in front of you, and they did that convincingly by playing some really good football.
Yeah, it looked like from what we could all see. I think the nice thing about it was seeing how many young players were in the starting lineup. I think that's always quite nice to see, and it kind of makes you realise how much young talent we actually do have in the squad.
Yeah.
Obviously, Lauren Hemp, Georgia Stanway, and then even Ellie Roebuck. I mean, I feel like Ellie Roebuck is like been around for ages, but reality, she's
Leah
like 21, 22.
Yeah,
Exactly.
and Leah Williamson is only 23. Like, that still blows my mind because she's played for Arsenal like 1,000 times. So it's
it bodes well for the future of the team, and I think it was nice the blend that they had, because obviously you've got Steph Horton in there, Lucy Bronze, Jill Scott, Jordan Obbs, who have all been in and around the setup for ages, and it looks like it's such a nice sort of way for the younger players to learn from the older players, but then the older players are probably still learning things from these new young players as well, so it sort of seems to be working quite well.
Yeah, absolutely. And that was another thing that Risa said afterwards was that the players, because you're right, there were a lot of young players in the starting 11, but actually compared to like previous training camps, that starting 11 was a lot more experienced. Mm-hmm. So it was more in the second half when you saw Chloe Kelly, Ella Toon, Lotta Weaver-Moy, obviously Ebony Salmon come on, like for their debut, Sandy McIver as well. That the team actually got younger and younger and younger as the game went on. But yeah, Risa commented afterwards saying that the blend between the experienced players and the youth players was really, she thought it was really good, and I agree with her. Like, it did just look really comfortable. Like there wasn't like a drop off in performance, or there wasn't like a drop off in sort of link up play. It was just quite seamless. So when Chloe Kelly came in for Rachel Daly, that link up between like Lucy Bronze and the wingers, like it was still exactly the same. It didn't really matter that there was a change in personnel. So I think that's probably what was most encouraging for me to see from an England point of view. It's just tactically, and perhaps the cohesion of the entire squad, it just blended really well with, like you say, that experience and the youth together.
Yeah, it's really good to see. And obviously there was a lot of talk on, especially on commentary, about obviously Team GB selection. It's coming up rather soon. Obviously manager still needs to be, or whoever's going to be leading the team still needs to be announced. So we tried to get it out of soon, but I don't think it happened. Didn't happen at all.
I'm sick to death of writing about it, to be honest.
Yeah, it sounds like it's going to be announced soon, which will be interesting to see. But would you say you think from the performance today that there are any players that have sort of put a really dominant plea across to be considered in that Team GB squad?
Yeah, I actually asked that exact question to head Risa.
It's the inner journalism in me.
Yeah, I literally like pretty much phrased it like that as well. And she was like, Ella Toon really impressed me, which kind of took me by surprise because she was really good. But obviously that was her England debut. Mm-hmm. So
and it was only half the match as well.
Exactly. So if she sort of goes from there to putting herself in Team GB contention, then that's pretty something. But fair play, because she's been incredible this season for Man United. Yeah. So it wouldn't surprise me if she has been discussed. But so in terms of publicly announcing it, Risa's essentially said Ella Toon put herself in contention. But for me personally, I think Jill Scott was somebody who a lot of people were perhaps saying, oh, it might be coming a little bit too late. She might not quite make it when you look at like Caroline Weir's form, obviously. And then you've got to consider, the likes of Sophie Ingle from Wales, and obviously Kim Little as well. And there's just so many players to choose from. But I just think Jill Scott today was, she put in a brilliant performance. And I think like when you're watching that, you realise how important she is to the England team. And obviously in the wider scope of things, it is going to be the bulk of the England squad that make up the Team GB team. So I think she's probably given herself a decent shout. And then I think again, Chloe Kelly and Lauren Hemp were just excellent. So both of them for me. Probably two others that I'll just mention.
Such a tough decision.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think Rachel Daly and Georgia Stanway obviously both started today, and they're two that I think are probably going to be pushing and knocking the door in terms of versatility, because that's something that the FA have said is going to be really key. So I think both of them played well today as well. So yeah, they're probably the two others that I would mention. But yeah, it is going to be so hard.
I know you can rattle off so many different names that could be included, because I think just as the WSL's gotten better and the championship's gotten better, that obviously the players have really stepped up a game from all the home nations. So yeah, I'm just glad I'm not the person that's making that decision, because there's going to be some absolutely gutted players that probably should be within it, but there's just the other players have just picked them to be able to get into it. There's just not enough spaces for the amount of talent that there is in like
18 players is just
so little.
Yeah, it's crazy, because when you think that England squad was what, 23 players, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm not choosing it. Like, some journalists have written a Team GB. This is my Team GB predicted squad, and I'm like, good luck. I'm not doing that.
No, not for me. No, it's whoever is given that role has got a job on their hands, and I don't envy them at all.
I think you and Lauren should do your predicted 18.
I don't think anyone would really want to know.
I want to know.
I don't even think I'd be able to whittle it down to 18 players, because I just would feel so guilty for the ones that I know deserve to be there and are good enough to be there, but I don't choose. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you're going to be gutted, aren't you?
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot of players.
Yeah, I think there's a difference between a predicted 18 as well and an 18 that you want to see go. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It's like, I think like there'll be some people out there that'll be going like Sophie Ingle, Beth England, like two players that you definitely want in that squad. But Sophie Ingle isn't starting for Chelsea every week at the moment. So there's an argument there that, like, you know, somebody like, I don't know, Jill Scott, if she's playing regularly for Everton, like, she should go in ahead of Sophie Ingle. So there's like, Sarah Walsh obviously didn't play today as well. So
yeah, it depends on what the manager thinks as well. Obviously, Hegaritu's come in and has basically said, I choose my team a lot dependent on their game time for their clubs. Whereas I don't think Phil Neville did that as much. I think there's a little element of it, but definitely not as much as, he's not been as forward as with that approach as Risa has been. So it depends who comes in. Are they going to just go for the names that have already been on the sheet for a while, or are they going to base it off game time stats? Do you know what I mean? It's
exactly,
you just don't know what's going to happen.
It'll be interesting to see.
I know. I kind of want to know. I mean, that day that it comes out will be just thrilling. Probably still being locked down, but you know, it's fine.
It'll be stressful, put it that way.
Yeah, for you it will be. We'll just be like, oh, that's nice. Anyways, just I wanted to quickly mention, we mentioned Jill Scott a minute ago anyways, but 150 appearances for England, absolutely phenomenal. You can't call her anything short of sort of a legend to the game. It feels like she's been around for absolutely ages.
I know.
Still going and still performing at the top level. But just a real credit to the sport, isn't she?
Yeah, like I say, I thought she put in a performance worthy of the 150th cap today as well. I thought she was brilliant, and she was so good to chat to afterwards. She was absolutely over the moon, you could see, and she did say, she was like, I feel like it hadn't really sunk in, but she said she was really nervous for the game last night. But yeah, she was telling us about how she had a letter from Prince William, and she had a video.
I want a letter from Prince William.
No, I want a video message from David Beckham.
What a good time that would be.
Yeah. And they had a little bit of a celebration last night within the England camp, sort of celebrating her. But it's just been amazing, hasn't she? Like, you run out of words to say, but I think, like, for me, the main thing about Jill Scott is not only is she a really good player. When you talk about those players within that England squad, ask anyone, whether it's her teammates and managers, people in the press, fans, like, her as a personality she's just such a good person. And she's just so funny, and I think she's always been really positive, and that's probably the main thing. Like, when I think of Jill Scott, I just think of somebody who just makes everyone laugh, and I think that's a testament to her as a person, not only her as a player.
It's a great quality to have, and let's hope it's not the last appearance. I'm sure she'll have many more. Hopefully not.
Yeah.
We'll move back to Liverpool then, as we always do. This is the Liverpool Women's podcast. We have a game this weekend. I don't know why, but I feel like we've not had a game for a very long time. But in reality, we only missed one weekend. So
Yeah.
I don't know how. I have no concept of time in my brain at the moment.
Well, we had one before that, didn't we? So we have really only had like one game since before Christmas.
Yeah, so that's great. So we've got obviously London Bees this weekend at home. Nice little home fixture. Are you attending?
No, because I'm on Premier League duty, unfortunately.
Oh, unlucky. Lauren will be attending for anyone who is interested.
Go, Lauren.
Yeah, Lauren's kind of repping it for all of us. Yeah, as I said, we didn't have a game last weekend. Frozen pitches and all that. We've talked about frozen pitches enough in the last few things. I don't want to talk about it anymore. If the weather is getting better, let's just leave it at that. Do you think we're gonna? Obviously, we're still not in an amazing place. I don't think. Obviously, everything's still up in the air. I think we said even before we came on here when we played Charlton and drew, it felt like we'd lost because we played the bottom of the table side, who we beat 4-0 in the reverse fixture towards the start of the season. I'm racking off all these amazing things here. I can see your face going. Yeah, I'll keep going. No, I won't. Do you think, in a way, Coventry getting postponed last weekend, as much as an opportunity that might have been, has that given the players a bit of time to come back and really be refreshed for this game this weekend? Because I think, promotions probably most definitely not going to be happening anymore. Let's kind of lay those cards out on the table. But we need to still be picking up wins. I think finishing as strongly as possible. Do you think we'll see a refreshed sort of squad going into the game this weekend? And how do you see it going?
Yeah, I think so. I think I agree with you there. I think it probably was quite a good timing because it's clear the team. It's it's a rebuilding process now, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Obviously, with everything that sort of happened after Christmas, obviously with Vicky Jepson leaving, a run of poor results because they were poor. There's no beating around the bush. It's not been good enough for Liverpool. So. Obviously Amber's had to come in. She's had to kind of pick the players up from that. Anytime a manager leaves, the players are obviously going to feel guilt around that because it's ultimately their jobs to go out and perform, and they haven't. So someone's lost their job, so obviously all those players are going to need picking up, and then obviously you then have the immediate disappointment of essentially the season goal sort of going out the window. So I think the fact that there's been a little bit of a break, there's an international break, so players can go off and be in a different setting, be with different people, sort of regroup. Hopefully, obviously, Rachel Furness today was playing for Northern Ireland. She's obviously been on the wrong end of a heavy defeat, but that environment that she's been in during the week will hopefully give her, a bit of confidence, and she'll come back and be quite refreshed. And the same with like Razza Roberts, who's obviously been away with Wales and etc. So I think it will be good for them, and I'll be surprised if Liverpool don't go and get a result against London Bees. Obviously London Bees are without a manager at the moment as well, so it'll be interesting to see how they get on against them. But I would be absolutely backing Liverpool to get a result this weekend.
Yeah, I think they really need it. I think you can obviously tell that the confidence is just super low at the moment. And I think understandably, I think the players have been through quite a lot, but at the end of the day, it's kind of football, isn't it? You lose a manager and you can't sort of just leave it as it is and say, oh, whatever. Do you know what I mean? You kind of still have to push on, and the players obviously know that. I just think it's just got to be tough. I think if I put myself in that position, if you think about the amount of things that they'll be thinking, emotions surrounding it, because they're a tight-knit group. they were with Jepsen for however long. Some of them even longer, 10 years after she's been at the club,
It's
for
only
example.
a small squad as well. It is only a small squad.
Yeah, exactly. They're all a little family. So they really, really do need a result. Not in terms of just for the season's progression, just for themselves and the belief in their own ability. I think is the main thing, because they can actually be really good at football, but we just haven't seen enough of it.
Yeah, no, and I think it's that consistency, isn't it, that sort of let them down in terms of like the season as a whole. So
yeah,
I just think a good performance, preferably a clean sheet, and just come up, like, just, you know, play at home and get a win, just get a nice comfortable win. You know, it doesn't have to be a 4 or 5-0, but if you can, you know, win 1-0, 2-0, but, you know, a clearly dominant performance, I think that'll be just what Liverpool needs.
100%. And me and Lauren sort of spoke about this last week. With promotion being extremely far away, what sort of is their goal? You know, the whole, ever since the day we got relegated last season, it has been promotion. There's been absolutely no doubt about what anyone in that Liverpool squad wanted to get out of this season, and that was to ultimately be promoted straight away back into WSL and sort of kick back on and get sort of going again. But now you're in a situation where promotion's not happening. You're sort of now having to look over your shoulder at the teams behind you because results haven't been going our way and we've not even been able to play games. So what would you say is the goal now, the end result for this season for the women? Are they already sort of looking towards the next season again, or how do they finish this season with some form of motivation?
Yeah, I absolutely think, you know, it's looking ahead to next season, really. I mean, obviously the players can't do that; they have to focus on every single game. But I think it's probably more important to start rebuilding an identity within the team and a style of play that allows them to progress next season. So I think the performances now are perhaps even more important than the results. I think going into the season, it was a case of just get back up to the WSL, even if it meant, you know, you were playing for scrappy wins and just getting the 3 points or just getting the points away from home here and there. Whereas now I think developing that identity and just picking up performances is probably more important, because you want something that you can build on for next season. And you also want to be able to attract players in the summer, because obviously, you know, you're looking at a transfer window where, if we're being brutally honest, it's you know, you're looking at attracting championship players now and not WSL standard players, because you know, you've obviously got another year in the championship, probably. So recruitment takes place all year round. It always does at every single football club. So there'll be work going on now, looking ahead to next season and who they can bring in. And
I guess it's about keeping some of the players as well. That's another thing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's a really good point. So obviously, if you're like looking to keep players and looking to attract players, then yeah, you want to be able to say, look, this is kind of our identity. This is where you fit in within this team, within this identity, and sort of go from there. So I think they just need to keep pushing the teams at the top. I think if you fall too far behind, then I think that's when it gets a little bit concerning for Liverpool, because I think it's then harder to attract players. But I think if they can just keep up with the pack, and you know, and just be like,
finish as high as possible.
Yeah, just kind of I think a third place finish wouldn't be too bad, considering you know, the position that they're in now. So yeah, I think you just got to keep up with them, and like I say, just build on the performances.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to good times ahead, is what I'll say. I think it's never, I don't know whether our podcast is the bad luck charm, because ever since we started, it's not been great. It's not been plain sailing. I mean, all the players left. Neil Redfern got appointed and then left after Arsenal game one game wonder Redfern is what his new name is. Vicky Jepsen came on. That was a good thing. Chris Kirkland joined. Chris Kirkland then left, so that was great. We got relegated, so that was also
Bernie
great.
joined. Bernie joined. That was a good thing.
Bernie joined. That was a great thing. Mel joined.
Lawsy joined.
There we go. Yeah, I mean swings and roundabouts. Let's call it that. But I am just looking forward to the days where I can sit on this podcast and go, oh, we're brilliant. We're absolutely brilliant. Do you know what I mean? I kind of miss being able to say that. But you know, positivity is key. We'll get there, regardless of what is it? Life's a climb, but the view's great.
Gone on Miley Cyrus on us there.
There you go. I think we could just end. I mean, we're not going to end it there because I've got one more thing, but we could just end it there.
Yeah,
we could do it if we really wanted to. Just cut. Yeah, see you later. Sound. No, we're not gonna. We have one more exciting thing to talk about, and I know this is all if, buts, and maybes at this point.
Yeah.
But grassroots football may finally return on the 29th of April. Excellent. Now, I don't know about you. I've not played a competitive game of football for nearly 3 years now. Regardless of lockdowns or injuries, that's how long it has been. And I just cannot wait to go back, even just to train. Do you know what I mean? That's probably what we're doing for the next 6 months, just training.
I played a five-a-side in, I can't remember what it must have been. It was in that summer window where there was like 3 or 4 weeks where
like August time.
Yeah, so like Manchester, because I live in Manchester. We've basically been. I saw a stat. It was like we've been in like actual lockdown, like proper lockdown, for like 324 of like the.
Yeah, I saw that one.
Something stupid, and I was like, oh my god, no wonder I've gone crazy. But it was like within those like 40 days, and basically like what someone from work who plays for like a different five-a-side team, like, oh, we're like 4 players short for our game tonight.
You're like, yes, I will do it.
Yeah, so I was like, oh my god, yeah. So he just wrote like a load of us in from like our work like team, and we just went and it was like the best night ever. Like I genuinely came back. I loved it so much. But so yeah, like I'm absolutely with you. Like I just can't wait to go out.
Oh, it'd be so good. I mean, I think we all talk about like physically it's amazing, but even mentally as well. We've all been through so much this year. The tiniest bit of exercise makes the biggest difference. So for a lot of people, it'll be a big escape. Sorry.
Yeah, and just like the team aspect, like being around.
Yeah. Going for a post-match pint, which I never do.
I always do. I'm the organizer.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, it'll be an absolute welcome return, and I'm sure a lot of people are very, very, very much looking forward to that alongside us, and I am really looking very much forward to it. I just wish it was next week, but it's not. But you know what? Things are starting to.
There's a timeline.
There is. There's days to look forward to, regardless of if they change or not. There's things happening. We're not just stagnant anymore. But that is everything. On that note, that is everything. Thank you for joining today, Emma. We wish Lauren the best. She can't speak. That's the thing. She can't actually speak, otherwise she would have been here.
She's got a gammy jaw and I've got a gammy eye.
Yeah, so. I've got nothing. I've got a gammy back.
I was gonna say you got a gammy back.
Yeah. If you notice, I've been sat like.
Hand from up.
Yeah, oh god, I've had to get a new chair.
Oh wow!
Like one of them specific. I don't know if it's an orthopedic chair. I don't think that's what you call it, but it kind of straightens my back out of it. You know, working from home and all that. It's just causing such issues. But yeah, I can't wait to get life back on the road. Energy levels are low. We're filming at night time, everyone, just to clarify. That's why we're like. Anyways, I think we should probably end this now. What do you think? Yeah, me too. It's time to go and sit down and maybe just have a lie down. Bit of a cry, maybe. No, I'm not going to cry. I said I wasn't going to cry tonight. It's fine. I'm only joking. Anyways, thanks everyone for watching. If you made it this far, comment down below. Emma's got a gammy eye. Why not? Thank you all for watching. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you, Emma. Pleasure as always. You are the super sub, the one and only. We can always count on Emma. But yeah, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, turn the notification bell on so you can be notified whenever we post. That's a new one I've just added in. Hope you all enjoyed. Yeah, we're gonna go now. Thanks everyone for watching, and we'll be back soon with another video. See you later.
Yeah.